What's going on, guys? I got another best of 3 from the Fall Classic 2018 tournament hosted by me. This time we have Chosen Way and Joreyk here. First game is Carthage versus Egypt. Let's get right into it. Carthage versus Egypt, pretty interesting matchup. I would give the edge to Egypt probably, but it's actually fairly even, I would say. Egypt can just bring so many cheap but effective units. But Carthage also has Sam Knights, they have the Noble Fighters, Better Cav, a lot of different options as well that they can do, and good cheap infantry as well with the late Libyans. So a fairly even matchup. Let's look at the armies. We have... that's not what I wanted to do. Let's look at the armies. We have one Numidian Cav here for Carthage, interesting. Don't really see the Numidians used a lot, but 41 missile damage, really quick. But not good melee, so not usually worth it. But and only if you bring only one, that's kind of weird. But so that's all good. Carthaginian Cap, Scutarii, Carthaginians, Scutarii, Carthaginians, Scutarii, so 3 of each. 3 Carthaginians, 3 Scutarii, General's Bodyguard. 4 Libyan Peltas. These guys are a great unit. Really decent melee stats. I mean, they don't look great, but with 44 melee defense, 65 armor, and then 24 weapon damage, like for a Peltas, it's quite decent. And so, you know, obviously they're not going to be great in melee, but they're decent enough in melee, and obviously Peltas in this patch are just super OP in general. So 4 of them can deliver the pain on any, like they can just snipe units if they want to, so that's great. We have, looks like Libyans, Noble Fighters, Libyans, Scutarii, so only 5 infantry for Carthage. 1 Noble Fighter, 3 Libyans, and 1 Mercenary Scutarii. We got late Libyan, 3 late Libyans, and I think that's it for Carthage. So very balanced, no long range missiles, but Carthage can really afford to not do that because all they can get is really Balearics or Cretans. But with 6 Cav and the General Bodyguard, they're going to have a lot of chances to flank around because Egypt has only brought 3 Campbell Spearmen, 2 Tarentines, 4 Nubian Spears, with like 4 Galatian Royal Guard, a Carrion Axeman, a Galatian Sword, 2 Egyptian Archers, and oh yeah, and 2 Levy Throws, which just got charged over there. These Camel Spearmen also got blocked. They're going to retreat smartly here. These Levy Throws will just die on the charge there. But I'm not really sure about this army. Only 3 Campbell Spearmen and 2 Tarentines against 6 Cav for Carthage will be very hard. You can see already putting his Cav to good use. Oh, he should have probably charged in there. Now this Galatian Royal Guard can actually get a great charge here and fuck these Libyans over. But he is going to go right for the Archer. That's fair as well. We'll block with these Galatian infantry, Galatian swords, but not really going to be that effective. These Levy Throw Spears just lose to Scutarii Cav. They just charge them frontally because it was a great charge, I guess. Libyan Peltas doing a nice job of hitting these flank fire right into these Galatian guards. Look how fast they drop. Unbelievable. All of these Noble Fighters also got a charge, to be fair. Really should pull these Libyan infantry out because there's no need for them to sit there and die. Meanwhile, he did lose this Carthaginian Cav, yeah, which is a little unnecessary. And now these Galatian swords are doing good. Over here, not really sure why he's charging in here. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Galatian Royal Guard will just destroy. Carrying Axemen using their javelins to destroy this Numidian. And in the backline, all 3 of the Camel Spears are still alive, whereas the Carthaginian Cav is slowly dwindling. Hasn't used either of these Cavs. Should really get around the flank. He can just kill this Carrying Axeman easily with his frontal charge. Can pull through into these archers. That would be really ideal, I think, and pull maybe through here as well. He has this other Libyan infantry, but look how fast these Libyans are dying. Like, also, okay, no mind. Yeah, Libyans and Scutarii get killed by the Galatian Royal Guard so fast, it's not even funny. These Libyans will get a nice charge here, but it's not even worth it. Like, you're gonna have to use 2 Libyans to kill 1 Galatian Royal Guard, and I guarantee you it's not gonna be effective. Meanwhile, these Galatian Royal Guards are gonna easily slaughter these Libyans, but these Noble Fighters are at full strength still, and obviously are wrecking the Galatians. But he just wastes his Libyan. Like, if he just pulls it out, it remains at full strength. This Noble Fighter finishes off this Galatian Royal Guard, and you have another Libyan that can come and help in these other fights where you're desperately needed. Because these Galatian Royal Guards are just winning the battle for Egypt. Like this, over here, you got another Galatian Royal Guard. So you have Galatian Royal Guard, this Galatian Royal Guard, and this Galatian Royal Guard. 2 of them are at full strength. This one's at half. This one's dead, but this is not where the focus should be. The focus should definitely be over here, with his cab and stuff. Also, somehow 3 camel spearmen are fending, and 2 Terrantines and some like spears are fending off 6 cav, a Numidian, and a general's bodyguard, which makes just no sense. How do you still have this much cav left on the field? Like, I think if Chosen Wei uses cav better here, like, there's no way that Egypt should win this. Because camel spearmen are just so bad. Like, they're tanky and they have now medium mass, but they're not good in melee, right? Like, they're just a holding unit, a placeholder unit. They should die to Carthaginians and Scutaria every day of the week. So there's no reason that all your cav should be dead and Carthage should and Egypt should have cav left on the field. I think one thing that was well used though by Joreyk was all of his light infantry, his cheap spears. Like they were like running around the flanks here. They were fighting the cav at the back lines, and they were really effective. So that was pretty well done, I would say. But it's just like he didn't use his 6-3 melee cav advantage and like well enough, because he really should be getting charges into those Galatian road guards frontally and following up with his Libyans. That way he doesn't lose like all of his infantry so easily and can do way more damage. Then those Libyan peltists can finish the job in the late game against depleted Galatian road guard. And you should easily also win the cav fight. These Terrantines were obviously going to be pretty annoying, but they didn't even do that much damage, like 13 kills or something. I don't even know where the other one is. Yeah, I don't see it, but there's just the remnants of the Carthaginian army here going down. Noble fighters did get a lot of kills, killed like 2 Galatian royal guards, so they did really well. And you can see with the 2 XP chevron, that is true. Oh, there's another turn time, by the way. But they this noble fighter is obviously gonna do really well if you got favorable engagements, but you just need to get slightly more favorable engagements everywhere else so that these noble fighters can just keep pounding, and your Libyans can do more damage, and then your Libyan peltists in the late game would just be overpowered because they could slaughter the low HP Galatian royal guard. And also at that point you can also just keep your cav in reserve, just play for the late game. When you have cav and peltists in the late game against infantry, you will win. Like, as long as you can kill enough of the spears and archers and other units in support, you will win. So I just think like if you had played that slightly better, using his peltist in the late game, because a lot of times he was just getting like frontal shots with his peltist instead of getting like the flank shots. Remember in the beginning when you have this nice flank shot against those Galatian road guard, and you just like slaughtered them, and they were dropping so fast. If he does that in the late game, they drop so quickly, and it's like not even difficult to win. Now, yeah, it gives up. Definitely wasn't going to Egypt's favor, so Wei loses the first match here. And you can see the camel spoon didn't even get any kills, but the fact that they were alive and just like delaying enough for the other units to kill the cav in support was like crucial, I think. Noble fighters did really well, but the Libyans just like 63, 22 kills, Scutaria with 17 kills. Like, it's just not good enough. The Scutaria should never be fighting head to head with a Galatian road guard. It just doesn't make any sense. The Libyans can do it if you get a charge into the Galatian road guard first, or block their charge with a Libyan hoplite or something. But I mean, you're gonna have to take that engagement. But he just needed to get more favorable engagements with his infantry, and it would have been fine, I think. Because like he had so many Libyan peltists, just save them for the late game unless you can get flank shots. Just use your cav to like surround Egypt. You know what I mean? Like, you have 6-3 cav advantage. Don't even worry about the Terrantines. You have a Numidian that can like scare them off. Just surround them, and he can't block all your charges with your cav. I think that would have been probably a better way to play it, but it was still quite a close match. So let's go on to the second game. Now we have Aravasi Lusitani, which is like very interesting. I want to know who picked that matchup, because in my opinion, Aravasi just is way better than Lusitani. For several reasons. The main one though is that you can bring the cheap spears, which is just like a huge benefit, because to block the charges, basically. That's it, just to block the charges. Because like Lusitani, to block charges, has to spend money on, oh my god, this is so annoying. Has to spend money on this $500 Scutaria streaming, or the 400 Lusitani gorillas, which he has brought over here on the flanks somewhere. Maybe not. Anyway, yeah, you have to spend so much more money on that. Also, the Celtiberian cav is just fantastic. Really, really good unit. So, and then your noble fighters, if the Lusitani nobles, right, don't get a great charge, the noble fighters just pound them really easily. And also you have much better variety in units where you can bring noble, of course, you can bring painted warriors and stuff. Where Lusitania is obviously going to be bringing Scutarii Spearmen, Lusitania nobles, veteran shield warriors, and Scutarii Cav, and some slingers. That's every Lusitania army ever, right? You know exactly what they're going to bring. It's so easy to counter these Scutarii Spearmen by having a Cav advantage, and then you just get a better charges on Lusitania nobles, kill them, shoot them. They have to rush you because they can't just stand there. And yeah, and then you win. So I think our velocity is much superior, but we'll see if Chosen Way agrees with that. Having picked them, can you win? Quickly, the armies. We got 2 Cantabrian Cav, 3 Celtiberian Cav, 1 Noble Cav, 4 Iberian Spears, 3 Noble Swords, 3 Painted Warriors. Or yeah, I think 3 Painted Warriors. Maybe not. Looks like only 2 Painted Warriors. Huh. And then 4 Slingers. For the Lusitania here, we have 4 Scutarii Spears. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, also Lusitania Guerrilla, like I said. 1 Lusitania Guerrilla. Looks like 2 Lusitania Nobles, 3 Veteran Shield Warriors. No, 4 Veteran Shields. 3 Scutarii Cav, 1 Iberian Cav, and some Slingers. Like 4 Slingers as well. So I would give the advantage hugely to our velocity. You can already see Wei doing a good job of just kiting to get more shots on the Lusitania Nobles, and basically any unit. I mean, Scutarii Spears are a great unit, really good unit, but they're not really helpful in this situation because, like, you can literally just like have a painted warrior charge the Scutarii Spear and delay the advance of the infantry with your spears, and then actually he didn't bring Slingers. Sorry, he brought Iberian Skirmishers, which is very interesting. Not really sure why he would do that. I'm not sure what their cost is comparatively. Here, no, his infantry is not close enough. If his infantry was closer, he could get 6 charges right up the middle here and would win. Now he's gonna get Javelin. His Celtiberian Cav gets a great charge into the Scutarii Cav. Celtiberian Cav is really good. I think they're one of the more underrated units. I think our Velocity as a faction is really underrated. I'm really interested in that faction just because you can easily bring so many different kind of armies. You can bring like a heavy infantry build. You can bring even like kite builds. Also, these veteran shield warriors are way out of position. They're gonna kill this Cantabrian Cav maybe if Wei doesn't micro it, but they're just so out of the battle it doesn't even matter. Easily lost this Scutarii Cav. We'll lose a lot of Celtiberians though from the javelins. But these noble fighters get a nice charge into here. Over here, Lusitania Noble is fighting, but it's just gonna get focused by the slingers. I mean, that should be his immediate choice. As soon as the Lusitania Noble general gets into range, I'm sending all my slingers after it and then kill it. Painted Warrior's got a nice charge in here, 50 kills, killing off that Lusitania Scutarii Spearman. Now this noble fighter is just gonna come in and destroy a veteran shield warrior pretty easily. Not many support there for it, it'll just die. Noble fighters love that kind of engagement. So that's very effective for them. And now the Celtiberian Cav are just running rampant in the backlines, killing those skirmishers, getting into the Cav, and charging into the rear of these Lusitania nobles, who did quite well here. Well, it wasn't Lusitania nobles, I don't know who did good, but these noble fighters are at half strength. Lusitania guerrillas are dying, and this battle is like very quickly over. I mean, all these slingers are just unstoppable at this point, unless you can get a Cav into there. But there are noble Cav left on the field, there's all these infantry and Cav and spears, pretty much everything, and now you can just focus down the remaining infantry. And this is the problem Lusitania has. Your Cav is not good enough to get to the slingers. The slingers are overpowered against the against the Lusitania units because they have no armor, and you have to spend like 2,000 talents on spearmen that can't really win any of the melee engagements. So how are you supposed to win, really? Yeah, you just have to be really on point with your micro, getting the best engagements out of your spearmen. Because like the Scutarii Spearmen will do great against Cav and stuff, and even against and obviously against the Iberian Spears. But you have to get those engagements. If those don't happen, you lose. So I think that's what happened here. Wei just was able to get good enough engagements where his noble fighters did really well, his painted warriors did really well, and yeah, that allowed him to easily win. Lusitania nobles were still full strength, but with 4 slingers on the field, you can't win, basically. So let's go to game 3 now. It's tied up 1-1, and we have a Gedai mirror matchup. So very interesting. Gedai versus Gedai. Obviously, you don't see mirror matchups generally that much. So Gaia versus Gaia is one of those interesting mirror matchups. I really like the choice by both players here to agree on this mirror matchup because Gaia is such a cool faction, especially in this day and age where shield screen's not broken. You have horse archers are really powerful, the Dacian heavy bows are just so good, and even the Dacian heavy skirmishers are quite good. So let's go over Chosen Way's army here for Spear Horse or horse archers. This is a deadly amount of horse archers that can do so much damage. Especially in the late game. If you save your ammo and you have like 100% ammo and no cav on the field in the late game, horse archers are so overpowered in this patch because they can just deal so much damage. They have heavy shot, very powerful. 2 Dacian bowmen, the regular ones, they're not the heavy ones, but still quite a decent unit. You know, once they get focus fire going, can be very annoying, can snipe generals, stuff like that. We have 3 noble swords, 3 mercenary axe, and then 4 heavy spears. Heavy spears are a classic Gaia unit, and they are one of the best Gaia units, I would say. Like, I think they cost 480, and they have shield screen, counter tactics. Their stats are insane. Really top quality unit. So let's see what Joreyk has brought in response. He's got up front 4 spear warriors, but don't mistake these for like armory spear warriors or whatever. These are just kind of shitty spears. Then we have 2 spears on the flanks. We have also, I think, 4 heavy or spear horsemen, sorry. We have 3 noble swords also, and 3 axe warriors. No, 4 noble swords and 2 axe warriors, and 4 Dacian heavy skirmishers. So very powerful missiles. This is actually, let's go to slow motion real quick. This is a really interesting difference, and this is kind of shows how Gaia can like go in so many directions. Like here we have like a bunch of cheap spears to like hold the flanks and win the cat fight. 4 Dacian heavy skirmishers and the 4 noble swords to just like help destroy the infantry really easily and maybe screen these horse archers. And the 2 axe warriors, obviously, just a good medium tier unit. Whereas here we have 4 horse archers and way better spears, but less infantry, less skirmishers. And both sides have brought the 4 spear horsemen. So this is like a really interesting difference in armies, in army composition. So it's going to be really interesting to see who wins. I give the advantage to Wei, I would say, because the problem here is that these heavy spears will just demolish your meat shields. So you can't engage that meat shield fight, basically. Which means that, which is probably fine, but that means that you're going to probably lose some charges, which will allow the lesser infantry of Wei to do a lot better than they otherwise would against the 4, because they have a 4 versus 3 noble sword advantage for Joreyk on the red Gaia, I guess. So I think that's a huge difference. But the real question is, can these Dacian heavy skirmishers win the battle? I think they should right now probably just be screening. But if they can snipe the general, which is what I would definitely be doing with them, the whole battle can turn instantly. And both sides have their 4 spear horsemen, so another question is who can use spear horsemen better, and can Wei use his horse archers well? Those are the main questions, I would say. Let's just fast forward a little bit here. Just some skirmishing, a little bit of kiting. This spear horseman, maybe trying to get a charge in here. Yeah, we'll try to get a charge in here, that's fine. He has lots of infantry support, so this is definitely advisable. Although, maybe going to the heavy spears is not great, because look, they won't even knock down all of the heavy spears, because they're just heavy. And now they go into cavalry counter tactics. His noble swords will get a nice charge, and this is actually pretty well done from Joreyk, because as long as he just pulls out his heavy horse right now, he can kill off a heavy spear. And as I was saying earlier, that's just so important. He did lose half a spear horseman though. He should have pulled out a little earlier. These horse archers are going to get nice flank shots. This is definitely worth it. I mean, usually you don't want to pull away from infantry, but otherwise you're going to lose the whole unit. And now look at these nice javelin volleys coming out. On this flank, it's a little slower. These horse archers are either shooting nothing or trying to shoot the back of these. Noble swords already lost 3 men, so good job. I wonder who lost. Oh yeah, those were just ship spears. Trying to get some nice shots under the spear horsemen. You could lose some men here though, if you just turn around. But here, axe warriors are fighting. Cops founder them early. Trying to just finish off these guys. Nice javelins. That's twice that the Gaia units for Wei have gotten nice javelin volleys into the flank, and they're doing so much damage. Here, axe warriors gonna charge into the spear warriors, but the general is gonna come in here and do a lot of damage to these axe warriors. He's gonna destroy them. You can see these axe warriors don't even have the right attack order, so they're dead. General coming into an engagement against another noble sword here. I think these noble swords actually got a charge though, so they could do very well in this engagement. My headhunt already popped. Second wing to come, obviously. Another noble sword gets charged in here. Not sure why second wing was popped here. Might have been a mistake. Noble sword crushing these axe warriors, no problemo. Over here, heavy spears gonna fight these axe warriors. They didn't get a charge. The heavy spears will probably actually win, and this is why they're so good. And these horse archers are getting such nice rear shots, killing 20 noble swords, 1/6 of the unit already. Super nice. Cavalry flanking around here, and these nations heavy skirmishers are gonna just wreck these cav and wreck these horse archers. So this is good. And he has these 2 cav in reserve. He needs to probably charge in here. Yeah, he's gonna do that. Charge into these guys. These nation heavy skirmishers don't even care if they get charged really, but he does need a counter charge here, and he won't. But he really wants to be using these. Imagine if he just pulled up these skirmishers and started destroying the general. Oh my god, it would be so deadly. So the right flank of the general, which means the shielded side, the unshielded side, so they would be basically getting rear shots, and it would be so deadly. If he sniped the general, that would be super helpful. Meanwhile, Wei is shooting the general, and look, 80 men compared to 100 men here, so the general for Gedai is gonna die. 2 noble swords still alive here, but there are still some Gedai noble swords alive for Joreyk on the flanks, and they're going to be doing a lot of damage. So the real question comes down to, can these skirmishers, and look, this is a good job here. He's shooting in the flank of these doubled up noble swords and getting a rear charge. So that's quite deadly. That's a good job. But these guys really need to be shooting the general. The general is like the ideal target, and your general is about to die, so you need to counter kill the enemy general. But Wei's cav has just been such a fucking nuisance the entire battle. Just like getting to all these skirmishers, and when the general dies in a second here, he just died. Yeah, he just died, and now the cav gets rear charges. These guys are all gonna rout, and that's gonna be a huge problem. He is gonna get to the skirmishers here for Wei, but they were not as valuable as the skirmishers for Joreyk were, and also Wei has the horse archers still alive with like some ammo, and some are just getting rear charges in here to destroy these spear horsemen and cheap infantry that were engaged. And now the battle certainly is in the favor of Wei, because he has so many more noble swords, and the noble swords have just been shot in the back so well by these noble horse. 70 kills, 57, 40 kills, such great kills on these horse archers, getting those rear shots on the noble swords really used quite well. And these nation heavy skirmishers weren't able to do anything but kill cav, and killing the cav is fine, but you have your own cav for that, right? You really need to be focusing the enemy general, focusing the noble sword, which was able to do slightly and got some good kills, but not enough. So Wei will definitely win here, and made a decent comeback from 1-0 down, managed to come back and win 2-1. That was a good job for him. Pretty close series though. I think this mirror matchup was really interesting, but I think Wei did have a superior build, and he just used it very well. Whereas like Joreyk's build wasn't bad at all, and it could have been winning in fact, but he just wasn't able to use it as well. His cav didn't do as good as the cav for Wei did. Like they actually got quite a few kills, but they didn't get the like disruption in the back lines that Wei's cav did, which was enough for his noble swords to triumph and end up winning. So GG's to both players. It was a great series. Thanks for watching. See you next time.